Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California. We are sandwiched here in Southern California between Seal Beach and Huntington Beach, and it's a glorious morning. We've got so much to talk to you about. Bluefin tuna, man, they are still acting like bluefin tuna, if you know what I mean. The Coronado Island yellowtail bite, sputtering also, but some excellent white sea bass fishing to tell you all about. Spotter plane information and so much more. You know what time it is, my friends. It's time for the morning briefing. Oh, man, I needed that. That is so good, especially because it's a little chilly and there's a breeze here this morning. And breeze, that has been part of the problem, I think, here recently. We've had some breezy weather, and I think that's got us screwed up on our bluefin, perhaps, and maybe also on some other species. Definitely, even trying to get out to some of the islands and the Channel Islands yesterday was really difficult. Once again, 2 million views. Cannot help thank you enough. You guys, really, with your support, we've been able to achieve a lot of great things here at Friedman Adventures, and we just keep pointing our bow forward and moving ahead. So hopefully we'll see more, another million views here. And that second million came awfully fast. So once again, thank you very much. Over 210,000 hours of content consumed by you. We deeply appreciate it. All right, let's talk about bluefin tuna. We'll talk about the spotter plane info that we've had here recently, and it shows copious amounts of nice big grade bluefin tuna running around. So don't push any panic buttons. You know, we've been through this before. You see a ton of bluefin and they just want to tease you. They just don't want to bite. And when I say they're acting like bluefin, I mean they are a very fickle species, man. I mean, one day it's full speed like we had, not that long ago here in this bite. It went incredibly wide open for everybody. They had limits. The Pegasus with limits in 2 stops. The Polaris Supreme had a big night. I mean, here recently, the Polaris Supreme, the Shogun, the New Loan, the Pacific Queen have had some really good fishing, but overall the bite is way slower right now. So what is it? Is it the cooler water temperatures? Is it the breeze? Is it just bluefin acting like bluefin? Nobody really knows the answer to that one. But just as quickly as it kind of slows down, it can turn on. And that's why I want to remind you all that you still need to bring your heavier tackle, because not only because the spotter plane was seeing the big stuff, but on the New Loan, Brandon B pointed out to us that there was a lot of 50 to 150 pound BFT. Best time to catch these bluefin has been at night, but there has been some daytime fish. In the daytime, 30 pound fluorocarbon with a good hot bait, or the Colt Sniper and the Daiwas that kind of also come in really handy and been working really well. When you're throwing the iron, you can, of course, go up in the pound fluoro you're fishing. I wouldn't fish it with anything less than 60, 80 when I'm throwing one of those Daiwas Econis. When you're dropping at night with a knife jig, 250 grams has been good, but that could change also. But when you're dropping at night, 100 to 130 pound outfits are highly recommended. We've seen bluefin for some of the Pongeros down south, down there out of Victor from Blackfin Sport Fishing. They had a bluefin tuna. I know they are anxious to get their season started down there, and that catch, and also Mara Sport Fishing and some other guys down there, those catches, I should say, does kick the bite into gear now, and hopefully it's going to improve as we go along. All right, let's talk Coronado Islands, and I'll tell you, a couple of boats, the Grande, the San Diego, been looking the islands over. They see some yellows there, not a lot, and they're just really finicky and don't want to bite. The fish that they have been taking, however, have been a beautiful grade, like 15 to 25 pound yellowtail, biting on the yo-yo iron or a dropper loop rig. Both those methods have been super effective. Some nice yellowtail taking on the Royal Star, speaking of yellowtail, as they are heading to the big yellowfin tuna zone. We'll be getting updates from them, keep you up to date on all the very latest as the Royal Polaris returning from a magnificent trip. I think they had 3 over 300, 14 over 200, if my memory serves me, and a whole lot of other nice big white sea bass. Now, rockfish up and down the coast still is really, really good. But up in the Channel Islands yesterday, the wind kind of forced some guys to do a couple of different things. For example, on the Coral Sea, Marcus Fain, our good friend, who was fishing up in that neck of the woods. Marcus, good morning to you. Hope you're doing great. Thanks for the great photos, my friend. I'm so glad you got them. on the Coral Sea, they couldn't make it out to the island, so they bent it up north, and they had excellent fishing. Really, really good fishing on the bottom stuff. And up and down our coast, we continue to see that kind of fishing. Really excellent rock fishing for guys from down there in Ensenada all the way up past the Channel Islands. Local boats, island boats, they've all been doing good. Nick Ramirez on board the Pursuit yesterday. Nick, good going, my friend. Good morning to you. And several other guys getting in on it. So for the most part, it's good. And the weather, we're going to get a little bump up in weather, I think, this afternoon. And then as we move to the weekend, it's looking pretty good for the coming weekend. Hopefully, it's going to continue to settle down. Now, another guy that had to change his plans was Sean Stewart on the Aloha Spirit out of Channel Island Sport Fishing. He said, man, we're not going to be able to fish outside. It's too windy. Let's focus on the shallows, see if we can't come up with a halibut or a sea bass. And they did. They slammed on the white sea bass, 16 white sea bass to 55 pounds. Absolutely great fishing. A lot of those fish on the dropper loop, a lot of those fish on the Redemption swim baits. They were working killer well. You see that Redemption swim bait hanging out of the mouth of a couple of those white sea bass in the photos. Just great fishing. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. Sean Stewart and the Aloha Spirit also working their tails off on a regular basis. Their work ethic and expertise is so high. And this bodes well, I think, for our May 3rd trip on board the Endeavor out of Ventura Harbor Sport Fishing. Tucker McCombs, another guy who really knows how to fish these sea bass. And we've been talking about all the market squid that's been present for most of the winter and into the spring, and the magnet that it creates, bringing in predators like white sea bass. That, the Channel Islands, has been the epicenter of the white sea bass bite for the past several years, and it looks like a replay again, although I do think Catalina and Clemente and Santa Barbara and some of these islands down this way are also going to get in on it this year. We've already seen some decent signal and sign. Few spots left on that May 3rd Endeavor trip. A May 3rd departure, $250. If you want one, just send me a text, 657-227-6459. I'll send you our entire charter list. All right, my friends, we are watching it very closely. Will that bluefin get back on the bite this evening, or maybe even today? There's been daylight fish taken, just better at night. And how about that sea bass bite up there in the Channel Islands? Will that continue, get better? We need this wind to lay down a little bit, and I think we're going to get back to some really excellent fishing. All right, my friends, have a great day today. Don't forget, live tonight, Friedman Adventures tomorrow night. Wednesday night, we'll be over at Island Fishing Tackle for our live show. And then Thursday night, the Danny Cadota show should be a really great one. Take care, my friends. Have a wonderful day today, and I hope to see you really, really soon.
I hope you're ready for all this stuff. This is our truck. We're full. It's got all sorts of stuff in it.